My grief is grieving the childhood that I never had. And yeah, and then how that plays into my attachment style. So a lot of the issues that I've had in my life and what's been so painful is my struggle with relationships because of the relationships I had with my parents when I was younger.
Hmm.
And having a disorganized attachment style has been the most painful thing to navigate. And I've had to grieve that I never had the upbringing that I needed in order to establish a secure attachment. So, what would happen is I would get into a relationship and I would freak out and I would have all this hot, cold energy. So, I've never been able to land safely in a relationship. And so, there's a lot of grief around that. There's a lot of, what I would always meet though first is anger, just a ton of anger, anger at my parents. I had a hard time getting close to my parents for most of my life because of that. I've always kept them at a distance. And I think there's a part of me that um, I've had to grieve that. I've had to grieve the childhood that I never got, and then the impact that that had on my development. And then I've spent my I don't want to say my prime years. I think my 40s are going to be my prime years, but I'll say that the years leading up to my prime. And just years that are supposed to be very fun and free. I've spent them in therapist offices and, doing plant medicines and just it's been such a heavy focus on healing. And there's a lot of anger. And then I'm also meeting now a lot of sadness around, turning 40 this year and um, not really having had the relationships that I've wanted to have. Like my relationships have been inundated with fear, just a ton of fear. And so yeah, that's just a little like kind of a little snippet into the grief that I've been navigating. I feel like I've done a really good job at it, and I'm at this really cool spot in my life right now where uh, I'm feeling like neutrality towards my parents. It's
Hmm.
like just it's almost like there's nothing there anymore, right? It's I don't have any anger or animosity or anything like that. I've done the work to kind of just release that and yeah, I think it was, and now that I'm talking it out, I think the what I was grieving is that I didn't actually get to establish a healthy relationship with my inner child. I actually felt for most of my life that I was this wounded inner child, and now that I've done a lot of deep work, I can actually see my inner child as something separate than me, which is a good spot to be in.